A lot of people associate non-fiction books with self-help books, but today I'm going to give you recommendation of non-fiction books that are not self-help books. So let's get started with it. The first one that I'm going to recommend is Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind, which is written by Yuval Noah Harari, and this is, as the title says, a history of humankind. If you want to know about Homo sapiens, their evolution, the change in the ecosystem that happened because of this evolution, the change in food chain, and how some animals adapted and survived, and how some animals got extinct because they could not adapt to these changes. All those things are written in this book. A lot of other things are also there that you can read, like how the languages evolved, how languages actually were created, and how they evolved over time, how it became so good, and also the concept of God, the concept of money, the concept of business, and what really differentiate us from the animals. All those things are there, and it will make you think about a lot of things, a lot of your beliefs it will question. So definitely read this one. It's a highly recommended book, and what I'm saying is basically the overview of the overview, because this one is written in so much detail, and it's a very old copy if you see. So a lot of things written in here is in very detailed manner, like you can actually see the scientific revolution they have written about, imperial visions, the law of religion, there is no justice in history, patriarchal genes, he and she. They have also talked about the biology of the male and the female, and the book says that the nature doesn't differentiate, it's us, it's the society that differentiates. So definitely give this one a read, highly recommended. Next one is the Homo Deus, which is the second part of this book. This one actually talks about the history, and this one talks about the history of tomorrow, about the Homo sapiens. Do give this one also a read. I read half of this book, and I don't know why I abandoned it. But yeah, you can read this one too, and this will again make you question a lot of things. If you have read that one, you can read this one. I am sure that you will want to read this one too. So A Brief History of Tomorrow, and yeah, let's move on to the third one, which is The Diary of a Young Girl by Anne Frank. This is the book version of the diary that Anne Frank wrote from 1942 till 1944. During this period, she was into hiding with her family and another family, because they were Jews, and during that time they were being killed by Nazis. So they went into hiding for 2 years, and during those years, she wrote in her diary every day, not every day, on days, and she wrote like how she's feeling, how she's hopeful that the war will be over. She was worried about the people who could not go into hiding or who could not survive this horrifying situation, and a lot of things she changed in those 2 years, because she was in the same place. She could not go outside, she could not see outside, they had to keep quiet in the busy hours. So all of those things, how they were managing all of those things are written in here, and I highly recommend this one too. If you want to know what war does to people, do give this one a read. The Diary of a Young Girl. There is also a museum, which is Anne Frank's home in Amsterdam, and there they play from this diary, like the entries from the diary is being played on a recorder, and people visit that place. So yeah, The Diary of a Young Girl. Let's move on to the next one, which is the Panama Papers. And this is about the investigations that happened in India on the people who were named in Panama Papers. If you don't know about Panama Papers, you can Google and read more about it. But this is basically about how these super rich people were able to conceal their wealth, and to avoid, how they were able to avoid tax paying, and what exactly is a shell company, and all of those things. If you're curious about it, you can read this one. But I will also have to say that sometimes it felt like it's being dragged and repetitive, but still, if you are curious about the Panama Papers, you can read it, and you can also know who were named in Panama Papers from India. So Yeah. Let's move on to the next one, which is A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf. Now, I lost my copy of the book. Yeah, so that book is only 113 pages, and in those 113 pages, Virginia Woolf is talking about women, fiction, and a room of one's own. And she starts by saying that you must be thinking that what a room has to do with women and fiction together, what these topics are doing together, and she then goes on explaining that a woman needs some money to survive herself, and a room, a quiet room where she will not be disturbed while she is in the process of creating something, where she is in the process of writing something, painting something, or any art that she wants to create. And which is a rare thing, that women often get disturbed by a lot of things. They are not given that independence of creating art, of being creative. And then she gives a lot of examples that why exactly women are not given that independence of creating that art. And by the end of it, I was thinking that how she's going to conclude it, but I was actually surprised at how she wrote it, how she wrote the ending of that book, and it's really, really amazing. It's a really beautiful book. The proses are really, really good, and highly recommend it. Next one is, and the last one is, The Prisoners of Geography, which talks about the role of geography in politics. And it starts with Russia, then goes on to China, and then other continents and countries. What problem does Russia has from the perspective of geography, that it is not a superpower today? Why China is so aggressive in its approach from the point of view of the geography, the problems of Africa, and how US took advantage of the things that were in favor of it from the perspective of geography, obviously. And you will get to know about all these things in detail. So do give this one a read if you are someone who is passionate about geography and politics. You can read this one to know more about it in details. And that was the recommendation. Do let me know if you have read any of these books and how, if you liked any of these books or not. And also you can recommend me some non-fiction books that are not self-help. I will definitely want to know about those books. So yeah, that was the video. I hope I will see you in the next one too. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing to this channel. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.